We could talk about this lag leak theory from the Wuhan lab. I did a story a few weeks back on this shit. Y'all need to go look at them lab leak videos I did. Them the last videos I was able to get out before they actually suspended me to show you that the shit came from a lab, right? It's just overwhelming evidence. But it says the ex-director of the CDC says he believes that COVID-19 did leak from a Wuhan lab and claims that the World Health Organization is too compromised to do the investigation on the matter. It says Robert Redfield waded into the debate surrounding the pandemic's origins in an interview with Fox News Tuesday, insisting that the lab leak theory is the most likely explanation of the deadly outbreak. And again, this Robert Redfield is was the director of the CDC, the ex-CDC director who resigned. It says calls to investigate the theory have intensified in recent weeks following months of dismissals from the likes of Dr. Anthony Fauci, who was quick to insist the idea was nothing more than an unfounded conspiracy. But Redfield argues that the efficiency of COVID-19 spread between humans contradicts the behavior of other similar deadly viruses such as SARS or MERS. While both SARS and MERS first reach humans through animal contact, they spread at a far slower pace than COVID. When I said before that I didn't think it was biologically plausible that COVID-19 went from a bat to some other unknown animal into man and now had become one of the most infectious viruses of all time, Redfield said. That's not consistent with how other coronaviruses have come into the human species. And it does suggest that there is an alternative hypothesis that it went from a bat virus, got into a laboratory, where in the laboratory it was taught, educated, and evolved so that it became a virus that could efficiently transmit human to human. It says calls to comprehensively investigate the virus origins intensified last month when the Wall Street Journal reported that the 3 researchers at the China's Wuhan Institute of Technology were hospitalized with COVID-like symptoms in late 2019, shortly before the pandemic began. So again, right before the pandemic began, 3 people in the Wuhan lab got sick with some unknown sickness that had all the characteristics of everybody who gets sick now with the coronavirus, right? Because they didn't have the testing back then to actually see it. This is right before this shit became a pandemic and hit around the world. What are the odds of the Wuhan lab people getting sick with symptoms exactly that line up with the damn coronavirus right before the pandemic hit? These would seem to be the first 3 people to actually catch this goddamn virus would all be from that lab that works on genetically sequencing and genetically altering viruses. The gain of function research that everybody's been talking about. That's what that lab does with these particular viruses. Now, how would them 3 people get sick? This is a hell of a coincidence. You got to be a goddamn jackass and moron to believe that was just a coincidence. They just had a cold. Well, why did they couldn't tell what they had then? Right? Because obviously they didn't know what they had. They just could go by the symptoms because nobody had no tests made up or anything to check for the virus at that point. It says China has routinely dismissed the lab leak theory and has politically motivated conspiracy. China has routinely dismissed the lab leak theory as a politically motivated conspiracy. Fauci was also one of a number of leading U.S. scientists to dismiss the claim in the throes of the pandemic. However, he has since said that he welcomes an investigation into the matter amid calls for his resignation. It says Dr. Redfield, a virologist who served as CDC director under Donald Trump for 3 years, voiced to Fox his disappointment over what he described as a lack of openness within the scientific community to pursue both hypotheses, the lab leak theory and the natural origins. It says, I'm just giving my best opinion as a virologist, and I don't think it is plausible that the virus went from bat to animal and then went into humans and immediately had learned how to be human to human transmissible to the point of now causing one of the greatest pandemics we've ever seen in the history of the world. I would have to agree with this guy, man. President Joe Biden back in May had said that nation scientists had coalesced around 2 likely scenarios, but as of yet still hadn't drawn a definitive conclusion. It says officials were ordered to present their best findings within 90 days. Redfield also voiced skepticism over the World Health Organizer's WHO capability of comprehensively investigating the theory. In March, WHO released a joint report with China that found that the lab leak was extremely unlikely. But Redfield argued that WHO was too compromised by the influence of Beijing to conduct a transparent and fair probe. Clearly, they were incapable of compelling China to adhere to treaty agreements that they have on global health because they didn't do that, Redfield told Fox. Clearly, they allowed China to define a group group of scientists that could come and investigate, he added. That's not consistent with their role. Earlier this month, Redfield claimed he was sent death threats from fellow scientists after suggesting that COVID-19 had leaked from a lab rather than spread via human to animal transmission. Says he claimed to be threatened and ostracized by people he even considered friends after hearing his opinion in March. And they damn threatening his life, man. I'm gonna go on a limb and say that this dude is telling the damn truth. Okay, that's what I'm gonna go out on a limb and say. I'm done with all this. Is it a lab leak? Is it not? Right? Why would you be giving Redfield, who is the ex-CDC director, death threat? Huh? What's the point of the death threats? Let's look at this little short video and see what Redfield is actually talking about, man.
If I was to guess, this virus started transmitting somewhere in September, October in Wuhan. September, October. That's my own view. It's an only opinion. I'm allowed to have opinions now. I am of the point of view that I still think the most likely etiology of this pathogen in Wuhan was from a laboratory, escaped. Other people don't believe that. That's fine. Science will eventually figure it out. It's not unusual for respiratory pathogens that are being worked on in a laboratory to infect a laboratory worker.
Now remember, a few months back, you could literally get your whole channel canceled and taken down. So I'll just commend Dr. Redfield, former CDC director, who obviously I think stepped down because he knew what it was. He didn't want to be a part of none of this shit that's going on. Dr. Fauci's snaky, slimy ass needs to. I'm also with Republicans on this. You see, I'm where facts lie, facts is right. I also think that Dr. Fauci should be arrested and brought before, at least at bare minimum, he should be brought before the Congress to testify under oath. Put his ass under oath, so that way you can get him, question his ass, tiny, snaky ass, sweat it out. And then when you catch his ass lying, because you will catch him lying because he is goddamn lying, throw his ass in Guantanamo Bay. We reached a 600,000 death toll in America. 600,000 people are dead due to your lies and your goddamn incompetence, Dr. Fauci. He talking about something, if it's an attack on me, it's an attack on science. This is what this simple-minded simpleton said. Dr. Fauci said if you attack him, that means you attack science itself. As if this nigga has the holy grail and the end-all be-all of science. No, nigga, if I'm attacking Dr. Fauci, I'm just attacking Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci ain't got shit to do with science, because science deals with fact that everything you deal in is lies and misinformation and deception to try to save your own ass. So what I will say is that yeah, y'all need to be safe out here dealing with these viruses and shit like that. And I can't tell you whether to get vaccine or not get vaccine, but I think you should do what's best for you and your family. I left you with something to think about. Hey man, I think this goddamn virus is man-made. Blessings, damn, I'm about to knock my glasses off my damn face. I know it's time for me to get up off of here. And we out. Blessings, peace, and love to you and all that you cherish. Peace. Oh, I want to say, come back tomorrow. Same place, same time.